reminder game Wednesday is 9 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock Mountain. It'll be on CBS Sports Network. So, everyone's good. Coach, start off with the opening statement.
Busy week. Obviously, having a game on the road, play against the Colorado State team that's, I think, much improved from last year. Although they have a new coach, I think they've got some really good players in there, and they got 5 guys seem like scoring in double figures. And of course, there are a lot of new players, just like we have a lot of new players. They still continue trying to find their identity with their team. So, but it's the first true road game for us, and I'm anxious to see how we respond. You know, where we go to a place where we don't sleep in our own bed, and we're playing in a different venue, and as a coach, you want to see the game will travel. Will your defense travel? Will your offense execution, the things we've been working on, will that travel? Rebounding is going to be a big key, I think, in this game here, and can we continue to get the productivity off our bench? I think that's been a big key. I think we got some guys that are starting to really, figure out their roles, and I think that continues to make us a better basketball team. So it's a quick turnaround, having to go and play against Colorado State, but we look forward to the opportunity, look forward to the challenge.
Hey, Mike,
He beat you, Nate. He beat you.
Sorry, okay. Yeah, I couldn't let it happen 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
Hey, Isaiah Joe is SEC, not Freshman of the Week, he was SEC Player of the Week. What's your thoughts on that? I guess reflecting back on his game, was there anything you saw on the film that, impressed you even more?
He played well. I thought he played a all-around well game. Of course, everyone, you draw raves because you scored, and he made 10 threes, and that's been a while since somebody did that. He got going in that zone, and when you get in that zone playing against FIU, where you're getting up and down the floor, you're gonna get lost on that floor. But our guys did a good job of finding him, and he did a great job of knocking shots down. But kudos to him. That's what happens when you win. The individual awards come in. So congratulations to him. But it's just one game, and I'm happy for him.
I guess Doobie plays for Colorado State. Is it surprised you to see him be a starter and play as much as he has?
Well, he played last year. He came down here and played down here last year. Doobie's he's a good player, and I'm sure he'll be fired up for this game here, playing against some guys that he came in with. I don't know if Adro was here when he came in here, but we signed him late, and obviously it didn't work out. But now he's found a home, and I'm sure he's excited to play against the Razorbacks.
80. What kind of pace do they like to play with, and then playing in a different venue, altitude than what you're normally playing?
Well, looking at their team, I think they want to play anywhere from medium to up tempo. I think they push the basketball. They got perimeter guys that can really knock the shots down. They got a big guy that was there last year that played for them, and this coach encouraged them to get the ball up the floor and get into early offense and attack the glass. Have some pretty good athletes on that basketball team, so I think it'll be a good ball game. It's a good test for us. I think for our basketball team, it's going to be a good test.
Coach, 121 points. It's a lot of points. So what was working so well on offense for you guys, and how can you carry that forward?
Well, you had 2 teams that like to get up and down the floor, and I guess we made more field goals than they did. We both got to the free throw line quite a bit. We made shots. I thought we established inside with Daniel, and I thought that really got us going. I mean, our first 3 baskets were dunks between Daniel and Adrio, and I thought the confidence, our guys confident, they got really going, and we did a great job of sharing the basketball. Whether they made or missed, we got the ball pushed down the floor, and we're starting to learn to trust each other. I think that's what you're seeing. I think you're seeing us trust each other, making the extra pass. I mentioned that the other night. Guys turning down, very good shots for great shots. And so they just kind of, we'll learn each other. I think our defenses continue to be the constant. Although you wouldn't know that, with such a big lead, sometimes you have some it lacks a little bit. But for the most part, I thought our defense, in terms of holding the field goal percentages down, creating turnovers, scoring off our defense, and our bench. I think our bench is really starting to come on. Desi gave us some great minutes coming off the bench. Gabe gives us great minutes. Reggie Chaney, although he got in foul trouble, I thought he gave us some good minutes. And Keyshawn. So we got guys that are coming off that bench that are really contributing. And we're seeing Jordan Phillips get more and more comfortable out there on the floor.
You alluded to Joe's all-around. I think the other night he had like 3 assists and maybe 1 turnover or none. And on the season he's leading in steals and he's third in assists. Could you expound a little bit on his all-around game? And then also, he seems, like you say, he seems like a humble kid. Do you think like he won't get the big hit after getting SEC Player of the Week, or how do you think he'll react to that?
He's everyday Joe. He just does what he's supposed to do each and every day. Come out and work hard, and he's grounded. I think that's. And I go back to his upbringing, and even as he's gotten here, I mean, he just comes in and come with his lunch pail every day, come to work. But when you talk about the all-around game, I think fundamentally he's sound. He can handle the basketball. I mean, he can play the point position. That's what you see him. I'm comfortable with him bringing the ball up the floor. Obviously, he knows how to use screens and come off screens, and now he's learning how to get down the floor and get lost in transition because people are paying a lot of attention to Daniel. And he can put it on the floor as well, and he's a willing passer. He gives it up, makes nice passes. So, again, he don't have to try to go get the game. I think that's the beauty of it. Even when you watched him the other night, he did not have to go get it. It just came to him, and he took the good shots, and he was making them. And if you're not making them, then you do other things, and that's a mark of a good player. And so I'm just glad he's playing for us.
I ran into Scotty at the Burlsworth Trophy luncheon today, and he said Isaiah kind of reminds him of when he was a freshman. And obviously Scotty's, he's been on the staff when Bobby broke his scoring record, and then Isaiah matched it. Well, what do you remember about Scotty as a freshman? Do you see similarities between his game and Isaiah's game?
Well, I think from the game, just demeanor. I think that their demeanor. Scotty was a very, very confident guy. But Scotty would like to talk. He didn't talk to y'all, but he used to talk now on the floor. But Scotty was fundamentally sound. He's one of those guys that everybody kind of looked over really, and I thought he had confidence in himself, and I think Isaiah presents that. A guy that can put it on the floor, he can score, he can do more than just shoot the basketball. That's why you hear Scotty always say, I want to be known more than just the shot. Scotty was a tremendous passer as well, but we know his strength was he could shoot the basketball, and I think with Isaiah, I can see some similarities there. I just think they're not no ego guys, and they play to win.
And I know El Paso's a neutral floor, although that was in Texas, obviously. But how do you think that experience could help you guys going to Colorado State? And what sort of things do you think a young team has to do on the road? Because there'll probably be some adversity, Wednesday night.
I think that's the big word there, adversity. How do you handle adversity when it comes? Whether they come out emotionally and hit you in the mouth, you got to be ready to hit back. But I think you got to continue to do the things that are got you in the position you are right now where you're being successful. We just want to go out and get better. But hopefully that experience in El Paso will come back to help us in terms of even in that game we got down, but we continue to stay to the game plan, and we're in position to win the game. Knowing the game's going to come down to a free throw, it may come down to one possession, a charge, or a loose ball. So we just want to be in position to hang around. You got to shoot the ball well. You got to shoot it. You got to keep them off the free throw line. You got to get on the free throw line as much as they do. You got to take care of the basketball, and as I said, we got to rebound the basketball, and hopefully, the guys starting out can play well. Our bench has got to play well. So again, I'm just looking for energy and effort. That's all. Continue to build on what we've been doing here, and see if our game can travel. I think that's the biggest thing. You go out and your game travels.
Coach, I think Reggie tweaked his ankle. I think it was his left ankle the other night. Is there an update on him? Is he going to be ready to go Wednesday?
I hadn't talked to Dave at all, but I imagine, yesterday was an off day, so they had a chance to nurse all the injuries, the tweaks, whatever it is. And so I haven't gotten a report that he will be in practice today, so he'll be ready to play.
Hey, Mike, their new coach, I think it's Medved. I don't have it in front of me. But do you know their new coach at all, or anything about him?
No, I didn't. I just kind of briefly looked at his resume, and of course, I think his last stop was at Furman. No, Drake. I'm sorry, he was at Drake, but I think he was at Furman, and so he's done a great job. I remember at Drake, they were one of the surprise teams in the Missouri Valley while he was there. But I just see those kids. They're playing hard. They're playing together. He brought in some new players with them, so I'm sure they'll be ready to play. Just having Arkansas come there, and then some of those guys play here last year. But in terms of him personally, I don't know him personally, but I've seen his teams play.
I know this is kind of part of the football deal and everything. So, I bet they don't get an SEC team or maybe a Power 5 team out there very often at their place. How big a deal do you think that is for them, and how stoked that place will be for Arkansas to come in?
I always think, if it's like us, every game's a big game. So I'm sure it's a game on their schedule, and I think they feel they're playing well. They feel they're playing well so it's an opportunity for us to go and play somewhere we hadn't played. I hadn't, as a coach, hadn't played at Colorado State before, so it's the next opportunity. So I'm sure they'll be looking forward to it. The fans and I'm sure the players even more so.
Slightly off topic, but did you have a chance to watch or see any highlights of Justice Hill's performance yesterday?
I just saw some glimpse of it, and congratulations to Justice. I saw they won a state championship, and man, I tell you what, I call a baller, man. You put a ball in his hand, he just makes some things happen. So I was happy for him. I know he's been really consumed in it. I haven't hadn't talked to him in probably a couple of weeks because I wanted him to just stay focused on what he was doing there. So, but evidently, from all the reports I've heard, he played well. All right, thank you, guys.